Yeah, okay. Now let's begin this session. So the first I will explain like why generics are needed. So the purpose of generics, I will begin with like why the generics basically. As it is difficult concept, I'm like just make noting it everything like okay. Purpose of generics I will explain first. So you have some class. Let us take like class, some example class. There is one class example, and in that example, yeah, you are able to store only integers. Let's take like the data is only integers, only int. So you have constructor to initialize this instance variable and some method in order to print the value of this instance variable. Yeah, please respond, please follow this. Okay, yeah, I think it will be good if we interact. So it just basically prints the value of x. Now now I will create object of this example. How to create object? By using new keyword, new example. And as this class has no default constructor, we should provide one argument, one integer to this. So I am providing 12, and now I will call the method even dot show method of even I will call. So if I do this, what it what it will be printed? It will print 12, right? Yeah, please respond. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it will print 12. Now you want your class, see, you want example class to store double also, so that it cannot store. No, example class store only one value, that is integer. It cannot store double or it cannot store float. So example class is defined only for integers. But if you want your class to store like different types, different data types, so what can you use? One way of like, what can you use, what can you think of like, so I want this class instead of integer, I want this class example to store double, float, and every other things also. So how can I do that? Any idea? Can you think of this?
You could use objects.
Yeah, we can use object. Yes, that is obviously we can do that. So yeah, I will show with the object and also I will show with some number. So basically, number is it's a super type of all integers. So we have int, float, double, everything are subtype of this number class. So if you use number, if we use number, we'll see with number. We'll see what happens by using number. So I will use number and I will see. Can I store float also here? Can I store integer also here? We'll check. Okay. That means it is used only to store your floating points, numbers only. Okay, it is basically used to store only numbers. Okay, so yeah, it worked. No, so basically you can use inheritance also. So that means you can use some parent class object. That means I can use employee as reference variable and I can store both employee and also subtype of employee like manager and everything I can store by using this inheritance concept also I can do that. But here it is restricted to only numbers like integer, float, and that thing I can store. But if I wanted to store string, that I cannot do, no. If I store here string or something here, then compiler like suman or something, if I store some string here, in compiler, see, we are getting some compiler error. So constructor string, that is not there, that constructor is not there. It can take only numbers like either integers, float, double, byte, every number it can take, because we are using number as parameter here. That means number can accept like integers, floats, doubles, everything, anything of number and its subtypes. Okay, so you can do that. So this is one way. By using inheritance concept, you can just generalize to some extent, but the generalization is limited. So yeah, same. Should I, okay, I will. This is like inheritance. This is the example which I have shown is like, okay, I will write above here. Okay, so basically it will be clear also for you. By using inheritance, I can do by using inheritance, but it is limited, but limited to supertype and subtype, no. That means you can make your class to store different types, but it is limited to supertype and subtype. That means parent and child. Okay, but you want this to be generalized, that your class example should store like strings, students, everything. If you want that to happen, then what you can do is like, okay, I don't know why it's coming now. Now I'm showing the same example by using the object. It's not copied. So if I do by using object here, if I make it as object here, okay. Now here I will store string here, some string like Suresh or some string. So now we have single class. It can store integers and also strings. Let us see, will this work or not? Yeah, it has worked, no. Now using a single class, you can store like different types of data. Integers you can store strings, you can store students, you can store any object. Everything is subclass of objects. That's why you can store everything in this object. So yeah, this you can do this. But like what is negatives, what are negatives if you do that? So if I say, if I try to assign e1 equal to e2, if I do this, it will work. It should work, no? Because E1 and E2 are of same type, are of example type. Compiler won't give any error. See, at the compile time, during compile time, we are not getting error. I am saying why it's no, we are not getting any error at compile time, because there are no red marks here. If it is compiler error, it will show here with the red mark, no? That is not there here, right? So we are not getting any compiler error, but at runtime we will get error because of type mismatch. This is like string type. This is actually storing string. Okay, I think this has not got compiled. So at compile time we have not got any error. Yeah, we'll see whether at runtime we are getting error. Oh, sorry, why it's got executed actually? Okay, both are object. I'm trying to assign E1 equal to E2.
We have to use double equal to, right? If I'm
No,
not wrong.
not double equal to, we are just assigning. Okay, let us see. Okay, let us see with this another thing. Okay, if we want to try to, if we wanted to access the value of x, then we can say e1 dot x, no, e1 dot x will access. But if you wanted to store it, you don't know, right? What is, you know, you are giving integer, so its type will be int. So int x, int some number n1 equal to e1 dot x. If I say that, will it work or not, we'll see. Because we are giving integer, I'm trying to store e1 dot x. Like e1 is like, x is like basically integer, x is like 12, no, here for e1. So it is not working, it is giving incompatible types, object cannot be converted to int. So basically this is like object in your class, but when you are giving it is an integer. So these are both. So you are trying to store an object inside an integer, that is not compatible. So you must typecast it to int. If you typecast it to int, yeah, now it will work. You won't get any compile time error. See, now you haven't received any compile time error. So the thing is you have,
Ma'am,
yeah.
it was giving error because X was an object, right?
Yeah, previously we got error because e1 dot x, e1 is like this example, and x is like object. But we are trying to store it and store it in integer, because we already know, like we are giving integer, no, for x we are giving integer. So basically I am trying to store that x in some int value. But actually e1 dot x is an object. If I try to store it in integer, it is not happening because we need to typecast it. So okay, even if we do generalization, like here this class is allowing us to store different data types, right? Like strings and everything you can store, this you can do. But here, while taking, while taking the data, while retrieving your data, you need to typecast it back to that particular type. Similarly, if I say string in the, for the second thing, for the second object, even string, I am saying string s equal to e2 dot x, it should work, no, because e2 dot x is like actually string we are giving, so e2 dot x is string. But it will generally, it will give compiler error, because actually it is an x is an object, e2 dot x is object. But if we are trying to assign it to string, that won't work, no. But object can like sub, what, you can store subtype object in super, like super type reference, but the vice versa cannot happen, no. That means like employee reference can be used to store subtype object. That means you can say employee equal to new manager. But here string s is equal to some object, you are saying that vice versa is not happen, that you cannot do, it will give compiler error. So you need to typecast it back to string. So yeah, because of using this object, the thing is like you need to do typecasting every time while retrieving the object. This typecasting you need to do, unnecessary typecasting, that you should do this. If you don't know what is the type, if you don't know the type of e1 dot x, like whether it's integer or string, which thing you are giving, you don't know, that time you cannot assign it to particular type, no. Yeah, that is also a problem. So actually you have seen now issue, like we need to typecast. Is it clear for everyone whatever the concepts I have mentioned here? By using inheritance we can generalize to some extent, but only subtype and supertype we can do. By using object we can do, but the thing is we need to do typecasting. By using object we have seen how to store, how to make your class to store different data types. By using object we have seen, but what is like drawback, we need to do typecasting every time. We need to do, yeah, typecasting is there. And yeah, Yeah, even dot e even equal to e2, that is not working. No, okay, yeah. So this is the thing. So how to overcome this problem? How to like you make your class store different values, different data types, but this type of issue should not be there. The typecasting, and also like, yeah, you will get some runtime errors also that I was unable to show here, but I will show in like in the coming examples. Yeah, typecasting issue you should not be there. So the thing is like you can make your classes generic. That means it can store different data types, not only integer or float or string, but you can make it to store different data types. So how can you make your classes generic? How can make you make a classes generic? By including type parameter. This is like type parameter. It is enclosed in angular bracket, and you can use any capital letter, any letter. That is basically syntax. Okay, basically you will say t for type parameter. Okay, this is the syntax, and you can say this x, whatever the data, whatever the element which you are using, that you can say as t. And here everywhere replace the type of the t with type of this x with t. So now your x is generic. Now your x is like it can take any data type, integer, float, double, or anything. It can take anything, but you are like, it is not necessary to do typecasting here. So I will show here the example. So as it is a generic, while creating an object, I should tell the type of this type parameter. So this t is called type parameter. So while creating your object, you should tell what is its type. So this is integer, no? So this type parameter takes only objects. So actually int, float, and double are primitive data types. They are not objects, they are not classes, they are primitive data types. They are, yeah, there is no specific class for int. But yeah, but there is something called wrapper class. This is like integer, double, capital D double, capital F float. These are wrapper classes. That means these will convert your, these are like classes for your primitive data types. So if you make, actually type parameters takes only objects, that's why I'm giving integer instead of int. Okay, let us see with a string. It's not required, actually, we'll see. So now we'll see whether this actually is working or not. We'll see whether we are able to store 12 and this one integer and string in the same class, whether we are able to store, we'll see in the same. Yes, right, it has worked. So let us see. Okay, let's do the same thing, but we will remove this typecasting here. I will print n1 space n2. I will this s I will print. I'm printing both the values. See, yeah. Now here I have not done any typecasting, but still it has worked fine. If we have used T, previously it was object and we got some compiler error, no, without typecasting. Here, without typecasting also it has worked. Yeah, any doubt till here for any one of you, please? Like I will wait for 2-3 more minutes. Please check all the things which I have told. And if you have doubt, please ask. Yeah.
Ma'am, what is wrapper class?
So okay, actually, so there are primitive data types like integer, int, float, double. Okay, in these are primitives now. Int, float, double, these are primitives. That means these are not classes. These are provided. These are given by you, like Java provided this int, float, double as data types, but these are not classes in Java. Like okay, everything we have seen till now is class, no, but these int, float, double are not classes, they are just primitive data types. But yeah, integer, float, these are classes. Double, so if you wanted to create an integer, yeah, so some, these are called wrapper classes. That means they will what, they will convert your integers to this primitive data types to this classes object type. These wrapper classes like integer, float, double, they will convert your primitives to what, this object type. So if I say int x equal to 10, actually this is primitive data type. If I wanted to convert this into integer like class type, object type, I can say integer my x equal to x. So here now my x is like, my x is object but x is primitive data type. Okay, similarly we can assign int x equal to int y equal to my x. So there is like kind of auto boxing and unboxing. Auto boxing means it will automatically convert your primitive types to object type. Unboxing means, see here, actually x is primitive type, no, here int, only int, but by assigning it to integer by auto, we will call this mechanism as auto boxing. So by auto boxing we are assigning this to this object, and this is this is unboxing. So here my x is like integer type, but we are trying to make it as primitive, we are trying to store this in primitive. So still this work, because this is auto boxing and unboxing concept. Yeah, yeah, this is not that required, but remember that uh, integer, float, double are wrapper classes that for this int, float and double. That means they they will give object, these are primitives. But if you want, actually our generics can takes type parameter, no, the type parameter takes only objects. So integers, float, these are objects. So instead of using this int, float, double, you should use this integer, float and double. These things you have to use. Okay,
These are classes, right?
yeah, these are classes: integer, float, double.
So they're also called objects.
Actually objects, they, like if you have class you can create instance, no, you can create objects of that class, no, that's why I'm mentioning, yeah, object class interchangeably. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, any doubt till the more, you should focus more, like till now whatever I have explained is like, first I have explained regarding inheritance, like I have used number, and I have shown like how we can store 12 and 12.2 by using number here, by using number as data type here. But I replace number with object. Yeah, if I replace that number with object, I was able to store integers, floats, everything, and also strings and any object you can store in place of object row. But the thing is like, while you are trying to access the data, you need to do typecasting. That, yeah, this is like type, it requires some task you for, you know, typecasting is it. So in order to avoid this, there is like generics. So yeah, what you can say is like,
May
yeah,
I ask a question, please?
yeah, yes,
So, this meeting is being recorded. Can we see it later? Yes, no.
yeah, you can see it later, right? Yeah, yeah, it will be provided recording, recorded is provided, recording is given. Yeah.
And right now we cannot see it on YouTube.
Yeah, it's actually I'm trying to stream that. You can see, it's just, I don't know what's the issue, but it's happening like this. Yeah, public live streaming is starting. It's not starting. Okay, that's why I started recording.
Okay. Another question I asked through chat was, as of now, you just have one to one. For example, int is being stored in string, but in case we have more instance variable, then how does it work?
Sorry, in this stored in string, I haven't got that.
So through the example that you showed,
Mm,
int was int n1 is equal to e1 dot x,
yes.
and we have x has a different object.
X is, yeah, X is like T. Yeah, actually this e1 dot x is taking integer, so it has worked. Yeah.
Okay, so we have int and string types,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
And it's just one to one. For example, one int variable and one string variable.
Yes. Yeah.
But in case we have more instance variable, then how does it work?
So if you have more instance variable, okay, I will show this also. Yeah, coming to that topic only. Till now, is it clear for everyone? Yeah, please ask. Yeah, if it is not clear, you cannot understand anything regarding generics. Please ask.
Ma'am,
If
if we have created the object of example, like even, then if you're passing a generic of integer, and if I want to pass a string or something else there, so will it get error, compile time error, or what?
what you are saying, string I have given, no example e2 equal to new string. Okay, please tell,
Yes.
like, how do you want to write this object? How do you
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
create?
Ma'am, if we pass Suresh there, and if I pass something like double or int value, ma'am, will
Yeah,
it
it
get
will give.
error?
Yeah,
Error,
yes,
right?
you can check this. Yeah, it's like if I will give 12.2, that is number, no, I'm telling type parameter as string, but I am giving it as double, some number value. We'll see what happens. It will give compiler error. Here it's actually x. So yeah, incompatible types, double cannot be converted to string. Actually, we are telling type parameter, this t is of type string, but now we have given double, so it is telling, it is giving us stuck incompatible type error. Okay,
Yes,
if
ma'am.
we say type parameter as string, we should give only string. If we say it as double, then we should give only double. So even for integer, okay, even for integer, if I try to give 12.2 or something, it will give error because it takes only integer. That means without any decimal point, without any, yeah, fractional value, it will take. So here also it will say incompatible types, double cannot be converted to integer. Yeah, if I say double, then I should give double. If I say integer, yeah, if I give double, if I say it as double, and if I give float, it also will give error because we are expecting it to be this. Here it is expecting it to be, yeah, float cannot be converted to double, same thing. So yeah, actually if we mention it as integer here while while creating your object, then it should be, you should give integer only. If you tell it as double, you should give double only. Yeah, that is the thing. That's, yeah, and the thing is, important point is like, it avoids runtime error, so everything will happen compile time error only. So it
I did not
guarantees,
understand this.
okay, I will say, it guarantees homogeneity also. That means homogeneity, that means if we say it as, okay, here I'm telling example and I have given this type parameter. I told type parameter t as double, and but while creating an object in the constructor, like I am giving 12.2f. F is like floating value, no? I have given some floating point instead of double. So it will, the compiler will give error, because if it is float, I should give float. If it is double, I should give double. If I say it as 12.2, then you won't get any error, because 12.2 is double. Yeah. Because it's not int, no, it's double. That's why you are unable to store it in double. Yeah, is
And
it
why will
clear?
we do all this?
Okay, why do yeah, I will tell why we will do this. So yeah, okay, if yeah, I am going to collections for this to understand. So you have a list. You want your list to be homogeneous. That means your list wants to be, wants to store only integers. Let us take, if it wanted to store only integer, okay, strings, let us take. So once, okay, your list are basically generic, no? So if you say array list, I'm just what, don't think of the syntax, I'm just telling this as an example, okay? I'm telling your list to be you wanted your list to be homogeneous. That means you wanted it to store only strings, only strings. It should not allow any other things, any other like integer, float, or anything. That means I want my list L to be only strings. That can be like, okay, Suresh, Naresh. Okay, this you want. You don't want your list like this. 12. Actually, yeah, list can store anything, no? Like it can store strings, integers, floats, booleans, everything. It can store any object inside that. But you want your list to be homogeneous. That means you want only strings to be. You wanted it to store only strings. Then how can you make that happen? How can you guarantee that? So that time you can use some generic list. So you will say while creating your list, I my list L is like, it is like list and it takes only strings. If I say that, then if you try to assign some integers or float, it won't allow, it won't take. So if you give only this strings, then it will what, then it will accept. So actually this kind of homogeneity is required. So what, yeah, because of this, what it guarantees, like you can have homogeneous list, no? It won't allow you to store integers or doubles or any other thing if you mention it to be specific type. Yeah. Is it okay?
No, I was not able to follow you.
Yeah, you can tell like what is not clear, which point is not clear for you.
So the homogeneity and I mean, it's not
Homogeneity.
coming through. What you are trying to explain, I'm not able to grasp it.
Okay, for others is it okay? Just I'm asking others also.
Ma'am, I didn't get 29th line.
29th line. Yeah, it's not required, it's the syntax I told, no? I think you have seen list data structure in Python also. In Python, what we can do, generally in list you can store integer. In a single list you can store in
You
float
are
as
going a
well.
bit fast.
Okay, okay. In generally, normally, if you have normal list, let's take without using generic concept. You, if you have some normal list, just I'm creating object of list. Okay, here nothing I am doing. Basically, this list can store any values, any data type, like integers, strings, or anything. Like 12, you can store in this list. 34 point float, also you can store this. You can store some objects of students also, like some objects of student also. I'm not telling that here. Okay, but now you wanted your list to hold only integers or to hold only what, strings. How can you make that to happen? Like if we try to give, okay, if you have this list L, you want this list L to store only strings instead of allowing it to store integer, float, and other data types. You want it to store only only strings, only particular data type. How can you make that happen? So yeah, basically without generics you cannot do, because yeah, if you tell like list L is equal to some list, if you create an object of list, it can store any data type inside that. But if you tell while creating your list, actually lists are generics, all the collections are generics in Java. That means while creating an object, you can specify the data types that list is going to take. Like the list, you can tell it is going to take only strings. So you can create object of that list, and then you can give values like only strings to that list. If you try to give integers or float or any other types, the list won't take, it will give compile time error. So it guarantees us to hold, to make your list to hold only strings or integers or floats or any specific data type. You cannot allow it to make other data type, right? But you can, yeah, but you can create another list of doubles. Similarly, as list of strings, you can create another list of doubles that will store only double value. But here in this list you can store only strings. That means this is what I meant by homogeneity. If I say list to store, if I want my list to store only strings, then if I use the generic list of strings, that guarantees me like I can store only strings inside that particular list. Yeah, that is what is meant by homogeneity.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Yeah, coming to the concept, like okay, what if I want like my class to store, and now if I say t, like yeah, if I use t here, and yeah, there is another variable also, ty, let us say. Okay, and there is some constructor to to create, like to initialize both these variables x and y. Yeah, please stop me at any point if you have doubt here itself. Basically, instead of having one instance variable, I'm taking two instance variable x and y, both are of type t. Okay, while creating your object, I will say I should give two parameters. Now I will say 13.4. See, but the thing is like, yeah, I will run this and I will just show this everything is not required.
So I just want to understand over here, what we are doing is you have given class example, and then
Yes.
you have given T in line number 7, right?
Yeah, T is like uh it's T by what type parameter, no, I have mentioned here.
Okay.
T is type parameter. While creating your object, you are telling what is your T. So while creating object, I told in the first case, in the first object, for the first object E1, I told like T is like double. T is type
Hmm.
parameter, T is double.
Okay.
So I should
Hmm.
give only doubles while creating the
Okay.
object, right?
Yeah, fine. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, here also
Ma'am,
while creating E2, yeah, yes.
ma'am, I have a doubt in 25th line. When there was just single parameter in the constructor, what you were doing here in 25th and 26th line? Because you
I'm
were giving
just
even dot x. So what is x here?
X
Because
is like even dot X. What is X
yeah,
for your even? Can you tell what is X in your even?
in even, yeah. So here you are in 20th line, you have defined this, right?
Yes.
Um, so 12.2 would be taken as x.
X. Yeah, yeah, yes. Uh,
Okay. So what we have to write 20th line. That is uh, that is we means we will be doing 20th line as well and 25th line as well. That is my doubt.
yeah, I'm see, it's not required. I'm telling like how can you access the instance
So
variable? How
so
can you
here itself, if we give in bracket 12.2 even in 25th line, I'm saying,
okay. In even dot X equal to 12.2 you are saying.
yeah, even bracket 12.2.
Okay, even bracket 12.2.
Means how why means here in 25th line you need
Okay.
not to explicitly mention that it is of type parameter double or something, right?
I'm not
Because of
saying
generic,
here, no.
because of generic nature.
Yes.
Yes. So why we so how you're giving the parameter from 20th line to 25th line? That is my doubt.
See, 25th line, I am not, so not 25th, yeah. In the 25th line,
Sixth,
I am not,
yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
I'm not giving value to your X. I am just storing the value of X in N1. So I'm not
okay.
telling like even dot X equal to some value. I am not telling. I'm not telling even dot X is some value. I am not assigning here. I'm telling I'm just storing here. I'm just storing some value. Okay, if I try to do even dot X equal to 13. Uh,
Yeah, ma'am. So can you do even dot show something like uh then
yeah,
what is the
even dot.
use?
Yeah,
What is
even
the
dot
use
show is already given, no?
in 21st line? The same thing can you do in 25th line without doing that 20th line?
Yeah, output will be basic. Okay. Actually, your doubt. What is your doubt? Can you tell it clearly?
Ma'am, my doubt is that even is generic, right?
Yeah, even is generic. Yes.
Yes. So even is generic. So why we are doing this 20th line thing? Why we are explicitly telling it that it is of double?
Yeah, we should tell no while creating object, you should mention what this type parameter, what you are going to store in the type parameter, you should tell. The
So
compiler should
always,
know. The compiler should know like what we are going to store here. So if we try to store, yeah, here if we are not mentioning here anything, yeah, like while creating an object, if you are not mentioning anything, it, there is no like compile time checking, there is no data type checking will happen if you are not specifying the type of your type parameter while creating an object.
okay. So in 20th line, we are creating object.
Yes.
Okay. Then, however we want, we can use this even, right?
Yeah, yes.
Now we need not to typecast cast here
Yes,
in
yeah.
25th line. So this
Yes,
is the
yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, basically now here I have two instance variable of generic type. Yeah, two instance variable of generic type, and I'm creating an object for that. I told like t as double here because there is only one type parameter here. I just told here while creating an object, t is of type double, and as our constructor take two doubles because we told it as double, we should give doubles only. Yeah, 12.2 and 13.4 I have given, and I'm trying to print those values. Okay, we have got that output also, 12.2, 13.4, and Suresh and Naresh. Okay, now you want your class to store like, instead of storing both as doubles, both x and y as double, you want your class to store x to store some other object like number and y to be string. How can you do that? You want your class like x to be like double or any other number type, and y to be string. You can do that also. You want your instance variables to be different type. Here if I say, if I use single t, it will be same type for every instance variable, no? So yeah, basically this is same as int x and int y. If I say t as integer, here t will be integer everywhere while creating an object. So basically your class will hold only integers, but you want your class to hold like both integers and double at a time. So how can you say, instead of saying yeah, here you can create new type parameter t comma s, and I will say s here. That means this is similar, this is like same as like I can say no int x and double y or something. I can say no, this is same. I am saying t and s are different data types. So while creating your object, your class is taking two type parameters t and x. So you should mention also, like while creating your object, you should tell like what is t and what is s. So actually my t is double and my s is string, I am saying. So yeah, while creating, which I will say. Yeah, now we'll see whether this one will work or not. Why it's not taking internet, showing no internet symbol? Okay. Yeah. So E2 is not there. So yeah, so basically in a single class you have given two type parameters here, like t and s. So basically t can be different type and s can be different type. So both t and s can be same type also. You can say t and s as double and you can store that also.
Ma'am, like, can we like write any alphabetical character in this? Like we wrote T and S. Can we write M or N?
Yeah, anything you can, any alphabet you can use, any uppercase alphabet.
Can we use words?
No words, single uppercase alphabet. Basically it is recommended to use single uppercase alphabets. Okay. Yeah, I have never checked with words, you can check once. Okay. Okay. So okay, is it clear now? Like you have class example, there you have two generic two type parameters t and s. This t and s can be same type. Like while creating your object, you can make your t and s like both the variables to store same values, or you can make them to store different values also. So how can you make them to store different values? While creating an object, you can say one of type string, another of type double, or you can give whatever type you want that t and s to hold. Okay, so wherever t and s is there, that will be replaced by whatever type you have mentioned here. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, is
Yes,
there
ma'am.
any example of taking the two different types? Like you have given the example of list,
Yeah, list has only one type
one
parameter.
type. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So here you are defining two type parameter,
yeah,
right?
that
In
is
the
like
same class.
definition. Yeah, in that in definition, the classes like list classes like inbuilt. You have array list class that is inbuilt in Java. So inside that, the class is defined in such a way that it takes only single type parameter. Okay.
Uh,
Here,
so,
I'm
Yeah.
defining here example class to take two type parameters. That is
Uh,
like definition of your class. Okay.
okay. So can you give the example, the practical example of where we can use a two type parameter, where we are using two type parameters?
See, basically it's up to you, right? You want your data to be, so instead of, yeah, you want, okay, you wanted to store two arrays in your class, one of type integer. The requirements is, it's basically depends on the requirement you want. So if you want your class like array to store different what different types at the same time, like you want your class to store integer array and string array at the same time, so you can use t and s two type parameters. So it's basically on the requirement you should create your class to store different types.
But different list will at that time, different list will be having the different types, right? So there, it is not the case that the same list would be having the two types. So
Yes, yeah, yeah. That's why it is not defined in such a way in the class list. So
okay,
basically, on the requirement, depending on the requirement, if there is need, then there is facility to use this both.
okay,
Yeah, if you have requirement to use two different types in your class, then you can go. You do this. But if you want, yeah, if there is no such requirement in your class, you can use only single type parameter. It's just depends on you only. Like while creating your class, you should think like whether I need two type parameters or single type parameter, or any like three or four type parameters also you
like
can use.
ma'am, some object, in some object case we are having like two three more parameters, like
Yes, yeah,
address, name and roll number,
yes,
so these
yeah,
can be
yeah,
of different types, so in that
yes,
case we can use, right?
yes, yeah. In that case you can use. But if you know it fixedly, so if you take class student class, if you know, right, the student will have no roll number, name and everything, you know the type also, data type also, like string, integer, and you know the data type also. So at that time, yeah, there is not there is no use of generic at that time. But but when you are using some collections like list, or yeah, okay, I will tell some like practical example. You have some as calculator. Okay, calculator here also, class calculator. I will just change the names. Okay, calculator basically it performs addition, subtraction, all these operations, no? Public, yeah, void. So I will show return type all, like for the methods also you can have generic as return type. That thing I will show later. Add. So basically this add method will add your instance variable and it will return print that. So you have this add method. Okay, I will say why. Yeah, I think this is good example. Yeah, calculate. I will. Yeah, there are different possible.
Ma'am, if we want to pass two data types, can we use or like integer or double in the single way?
In the single, like you have to create different objects. At the time, you have to create different objects. At the time, if you say it as, so basically, if you say something like student s, and while creating your object s equal to new student only, you will say no. You will you can create only student object using. Yes, because you have already mentioned s is of type student. Similarly, if you say t as of type integer, then you should give only integer. If you say it as double, you should give only
Can you be
double.
a bit slow, please? I mean, it's fast from your speed perspective, not the volume perspective. It's difficult to grasp when you speak so fast.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, basically I am telling like uh, so yeah, basically I'm telling like while okay, you have previously you have seen no while creating your object. So student s, I can say, right? Student s. While creating your object, while create I told like student s. You have not created object of this student. So but while creating an object, I will say s equal to new student only, right? I cannot say s equal to new employee or something, because if I say s equal to new employee, I will get compiler error, because s, what I told, s as student. So you should create student object only using s. So if I say employee or something, if I create an object of some other thing for s, you will get compile time error, because you are already defined this as student. So it should give only student while creating your object. Similarly, if you say your type parameter as integer, you should give only integer for t. You should give only integers while creating your object. Same thing. That's what I'm mentioning. Okay. And I will say e1 dot show. First I will print those values and then I will perform e1 dot c1 dot add. Okay, you are getting compiler error here, because there is this concept called type erasure concept for generics. So whatever, so during the compile time itself, all your type parameters will be replaced by its upper bounds. So if your class has no upper bound, if your type parameter has no upper bound, it will be replaced by object. So t here, it has no upper bound. So yeah, you might have seen no in some codes, t extends number or t extends students, something extends keyword you have might be seen no in the videos also. So that is called,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, that is upper bound. That means t can take student or any subclass of student. So by during compile time itself, your t will be replaced. Wherever t is there, that will be replaced by student. If you say t extends student, that will be replaced by student. If you say t extends number, wherever t is there here inside your class, that will be replaced by number. Okay, that will happen during compile time. Here nothing is mentioned no here, so that will be replaced here, that will be replaced with object. So everything that will be replaced with object.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
here you are saying replaced with object. So,
Hmm.
like, is it happening while we send the value or before we send the value? Am I clear, or should I say it in a different way?
Yeah, during the compile time I told now.
No, I am. What I am saying is, so here what we are doing calculate integer. So
Yes.
we are assigning that t to be integer.
Yes.
So what I am asking is, so while we are assigning, like if we check after we have assigned and all that, if we check the type of x, we will get that integer.
Yes.
So when this object is happening, that is my question.
Object, see, this creation, this memory creation will happen runtime, but here calculator c1 is of type integer, that will happen, this will happen at compile time only itself no. This actually, yeah, allocating your memory will happen at runtime. See here,
Okay.
yeah, memory allocation will happen at runtime, but this object, this, yeah, this will happen at compile time only. Calculator c1 that will happen at compile time, but memory allocation will happen during runtime. So basically you have to remember this thing. So yeah, can you mute yourself please? Just some echo is there. Yeah, thanks. So basically here, actually everywhere, while creating this object calculator c1, here I told it is of type integer, no? So basically it will be like here, during compile time it will be like object. So the what, so plus addition operation, this is undefined for objects. Basically it is not defined for object, like it doesn't guarantee you, right? Addition, it's not there for object. So what you can say is t extends number, because you know that calculator takes only integers or floats, any number, and it does operation on that integer. So how can you tell that to your type? So I can say t extends number, that means I can give, here I can create object of double, integer, float or anything, and then I can perform operations on that. So here how can I mention bound to this type parameter? Previously what we have seen, it can take anything, no, integer, string, everything, any object it can take. But I can make it to take only specific things by saying this t extends number, or t extends student, or t extends employee. I can say I can bound it to take only, I can restrict it to take only number or its subclass. That means number and subclass are integer, float, double, all are its subclasses of number. Similarly if I say t extends employee, so what can be the subclass of employee? Manager, developer and everything can be subclasses. So you can give manager or um, employee or developer for t. So here I'm saying t as number, so I can give integer, float, double, whatever thing I can give here. So basically,
Ma'am,
yeah,
can we like give string as well?
you cannot give string here, because we told like t is extending number. That means you can give only number or its subtype of number. String is not subtype of number, so you cannot give strings here. If I restrict, I'm restricting it type.
So ma'am, it is like equal to number only. Like instead of writing t extends number, we can just write number like we
Yeah,
directly.
you can do that. Yeah, you can do that. That also you can do that.
And is there a bucket for example, I understand number is a bucket for int, float, double.
Yes.
Is there a bucket for string and character also? Sorry if you have said and I missed it.
No such bucket for this. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Previously, someone is asking doubt. No, can you I replace here with the number instead of writing this everything? Yeah, that, see, this is like definition. You are telling type parameter. You are giving type parameter to your class. That means how do I know this? I
No,
enclose something in angular bracket. So
no,
that I
like
cannot do.
no, like instead of like 9 and 10th line, instead of writing t, we can just
Yeah,
write
you
number.
can just write number. That definitely will work.
It will
Yeah,
be
but
equal to that.
sorry.
Like if we write number in 9 and 10, then it will equal to the same thing as t extends number, right?
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think Apul is asking something. No, yeah, you can ask. Continue.
no, that was the only thing. You said that there is no bucket for characters and string together. We have to use it separately, right?
Yeah, yes,
Okay. Okay. And numbers will include everything, int, double, float, everything.
yes. Numbers will
Yeah.
include everything. Yeah, number will include everything. Okay. Now, yeah. Previously also, I I made it as like this t to be only number by saying t extends number, and when I try to perform this addition operation, for numbers it cannot, it just won't support, it won't support. You should say x dot double value or some x dot double value you should give. Same y dot double value you should give in order to
Ma'am,
perform
can you
addition.
explain why it won't support? Actually, I missed that point.
Yeah, yeah, because see, x and y are of numbers, right? X and y are of numbers. You are telling it's int, float, or double, or anything. Yeah, the operation is defined, but still it won't support. I think I have to check on this why it won't support. But yeah, you should give something like in here. You should mention like x is some int value or double value. You should mention here while
And
doing.
can't be typecast. We can't typecast this X and Y.
Okay, I will check. You can do typecasting also. Double for double, you can typecast it to double. Yeah, double or int or anything. But you should, yeah, you should give upper type only, no? That's why.
So this case will work for int as well then.
Yeah, yes, this case will work for anything. You can basically you can do typecasting and yeah, you can do this also, or you can say x dot double value plus y dot double value. You can say or int value. Why I'm using double? Because if x is some if x is integer, you can convert it to double, no type information will be lost. If x is float, if x is double, and if I say x dot double int value, or if I typecast it to int, some type information will be lost, no integer.
Yeah, yeah.
It is like double, so it is always safe to typecast it to double and then do addition. Okay, yeah, this thing.
But it is optional, right? Like we don't need to do this typecasting.
You no need to do this typecasting, but if I say x plus y, it won't work. Even x and y are of type numbers, we are guaranteeing that x and y are of type numbers, but still, yeah, why it won't work? Yeah, I'm also not sure. X plus y, if I say it won't work, it will give compiler error. Okay, we'll see what is a compiler error. So bad operands for binary operator addition. First type t and second type t extends number. Yeah, this is like, yeah, we cannot guarantee. Yeah, it is nothing. We don't know, we cannot find anything from this. But the thing is, x plus y won't work. I will let you know why it won't work. Even we are telling t is of type number, like addition should be defined for numbers, no? Integer addition will be there, double floating addition will be there, all numbers addition is possible, but still this operator won't work. If I say only t, definitely plus operator won't work. That makes sense, right?
But like, if we don't write t extends number, we just write t, then if we do double x plus double y, will it work?
uh no, I think no. I think no, because yeah, so everything you
Hello,
cannot
ma'am.
convert to double, no? If you use string, you cannot convert it to double, right?
Hello.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I just now tried in my Replit
Uh,
by defining integer I, the class integer I equal to 10 and 20. It's working. The
class,
addition is working. Yeah.
sorry, class integer I equal to 10 and 20.
Yeah.
Okay, here instead of doing x plus y.
Yeah, I just did that. Means I did integer wrapper class I equal to 10 and integer j equal to 20. And when I print I plus j, it is printing 30.
Yeah, that will work. But here in the generic, inside it as generic, I'm telling here inside the class, x and y are of type t. And yeah, if we try to do that, will it work or not? Just we are checking. Like,
So this
yeah,
is all because of upper bounding, right? While runtime. It's the t gets promoted to object.
see, if you say it as yeah, that is not because of upper bound. Yeah, if you tell it as general object, yeah, object is its upper bound, and because of its upper bound as object, you cannot because t and x is like object, and if you typecast this to double, you are getting this class cast exception, no? But if I say it as number, then you won't get any exception.
And ma'am, does d need to be capital D in double?
Yeah, no, it's not required. It can be any double, normal double also. It's not required. Okay.
Capital D double is what is capital D double?
It's class. It's class. It is like primitive data type.
Wrapper class.
Yes, it's a wrapper. Yeah, it's a wrapper class. T extends number. Yeah. If I do this, if I say T extends number, we won't get any compiler error. Addition will happen safe. Okay, class cast exception. Integer cannot be. Okay, still I think we are getting
Ma'am,
error.
Ma'am,
Then we have to use
extends.
only double. Sorry. Yeah.
ma'am,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
this red underline gives the indication that it will not run or it will run. Are you deciding from this red line only
No,
without
I'm
running?
checking. No, I'm running. Yeah, because this red line thing you won't get on portal also, right? Yeah, I'm running. You can see here. Yeah, previously if I
Without
say
without running, we cannot conclude that whether it will work or not.
yeah by saying see if it is there compiler error, we will know by seeing the red line. We will know right like there is compiler error.
Red line gives the compiler error.
Yes, red line means there is compiler error.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank
Yeah, this is like not red line, this is some orange line. This is indicated something like we have not used that. That's why but this import is not actually required, we have not used that. Okay,
you. How many
so
colors are there? Red
red
and
and
orange only.
yes, yeah,
Red gives the compiler error, and orange.
it will say like we have not used that anywhere in our code.
Okay, okay. Orange is we have not used it. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Ma'am, double value gives the double value of means double value of x. Are you not
yes,
getting it?
yeah,
Or,
yeah, it will give the double value. Okay, yeah, it will give the double value whatever
okay.
if yeah. See here, if I have not mentioned here as extends number, T extends number, if I have not mentioned, and if I try to say x dot double value and y dot double value, it is giving the compiler error, no? Because it is T is object. T is like object. If we say it is not extending number, it is object, and double value is not defined for object. Okay, method double value that is not there. So if you say it as number, then it will work perfectly. Actually, I have checked typecasting also by typecasting it to double. That also not work. But you should use this double value thing only not to perform addition. Yeah, the thing is here. Yeah. Someone is talking.
Yes, yes. Ma'am, if we do in, can you move little up? Yeah, in 24th line, if we do double,
Hmm.
then I don't think so. We will be requiring
No,
double typecast in 16th line.
no. You will require even if it is double. You will require that.
Because t becomes number at the compile time.
Yes. He will be number only. If I see for double, I can give integer. See here, 12.3 and 13 also I can give. See, you will still get compiler.
Yeah. Okay. So for operation, we have to typecast.
Yes, we have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
not typecasting it. I'm just calling double value method. That
Yeah.
means whatever the value that is holding, x is holding, we will get the double value version of that x. So if I try to do this, then you will get the output.
So it is not just because of generic
Yeah,
class
it's
or
not
anything.
because of
Yeah.
generic int cannot be converted to, so I have to mention here it as something like 13.0. Then yeah, okay. Yeah, here my intention of this code is like t extends number. I have shown bounded. We can make our t as bounded type. Like we can restrict our t. Okay, previously I have shown t and s. Like we can have the single class with two different type parameters. Here I am showing like t extends number is possible. Like we can restrict our type. Is it clear for everyone till now?
Ma'am, one more thing.
Yeah.
Can we take two upper ones? Like we have
Yes,
taken
you
right
can
now
do.
number, we can take string as well.
Yes, yeah, you can do that. T extends number. Uh, you can use some AND operator, and you can tell it extends string also. You can mention that also, but this double value and everything won't work. So I think I should comment this line, and I will show. Okay, then
Ma'am, and how the T will implement an interface? It also used by extend, or we have to use
yeah,
implementation?
implementing also will denote by extends only. For type parameter there is no implement. You can't say t implement some interface. You should use extends only. Okay, so type parameter string is hiding the type parameter string. What does this mean? Okay, I should check how to. Yeah, actually basically we can say how to bound type parameter to two types. Yeah, basically I am not remembering the syntax to that. Two different types. Why this is, I think this is not giving the exact thing. Mm, okay, t extends here is there only single type parameter here. T extends here only single one. Multiple bounds. T extends some super class name and interface is there. Yeah. Yeah, the thing is like multiple inheritance is not possible in Java, no? So you cannot say single class like a single class cannot be extended from two class, no? The same thing here also. But yeah, same thing here also. So you
Hello,
can
ma'am.
make, yeah.
Yes, in
Yeah,
the
got it
lecture,
now.
in
Yes.
hello.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Yeah, in the lecture, sir has told something about T extends some question mark or something.
Yeah, that I will come
Super,
to.
mean T super question mark.
Yeah, extend sir has covered. Question mark sir has covered. Super is like, okay, this is similar to, so if I say t extends number, that means t can be number or subtype of number. T super number means it can be number or super type of number. That means object. It can be. That means that like, okay. Super
Ma'am,
means,
it could be a super class of that object we are.
yeah,
Uh,
it means it should be super class of
yes.
that whatever we have said. So if it is number, super class of number is, I know definitely object is super class of number. So I can say the number or super class of number you can give. But basically we mostly we will use t extends concept only in this, in our syllabus.
Like we give string here, like in t extends number.
Instead of number you can say as string. Here you can say, you can make your type parameter to bound to any value like string or integer or anything. Yeah, you can say it bound to tx. I told previously t extends student. You can make it bound to any other class, any other object. Okay,
Like
that is, yeah, yes, yeah.
like in Python, when we have a string, we can convert it into integer and we can do addition, right?
uh y- yeah, same. Here also we will, in Java also we have, like if we give like some string as integer, but you should use some method like integer dot parseInt. Some method is required, but that is not required. Okay, that is not required to this.
But like
Yep.
if I write t extends string
Mm.
and then in add method I convert that in integer to string using typecasting, then will it work?
Yeah, but why do you need to add two strings? You can, yeah, then yeah, you can simply say, yeah, if you want them to be integers, you can just specify it as integer. No, if you want string concatenation to happen, then you can say x plus y directly, right?
But what if like I want to pass an integer in this class, but it is t extends string, so we want to do addition of integers, for example, then
Okay, you want this as t extend string.
it's like giving error when we do typecasting here.
Yeah, it will give typecasting. So for, yeah, for generics, typecasting actually will give error because t is of some type, whatever it is, string type. If you typecast it to some the other type, it will give error. Okay, if we say t as string, yeah, it should be string only. So you should use this method integer dot parseInt, something like this. Yeah, that means you will get the integer value for of that string, and basically you can same thing you can do for y also. So I can give here instead of double, as I mentioned it as string, I should give only strings. I will give 12, and that basically we won't encourage this to do, like giving integer and passing, yeah, giving strings and making that. So if I do this, yeah, I also never tried this, but we'll see. So yeah, this has happened, no? Because integer dot parseInt basically will convert your string value to integer, and then we are performing addition. So I should say here why. So here we are giving string, but we are doing the integer addition by, yeah. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm here in line number 11.
Yeah.
How this is correlated with this the tx1 and txy1
Mm.
calculator tx1 and ty1.
Tx1 and y1. This is
Then
constructor, right? Two argument constructor. So t and y. Similarly,
suppose
you
we
will
not
say no.
suppose we not do not write this constructor, then what will make a difference?
Yeah, if you do not write constructor, how can you initialize your x and y values? At that time, you require some method, no, to initialize your values. Okay, I will remove this constructor.
Yeah, what
And
will add with?
you, yeah, how can you set your values to x and y? You cannot set values to your x and y, no. 12 comma 13 I cannot pass here.
Okay, 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 okay,
Yeah,
okay. Two values. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that values you cannot pass. So you can make your method also. Yeah, now coming to methods, like you can have generic methods also inside a class. Yeah, so I can say public void Yeah, set x. It should take t only, no, because x is of type t, so you should give only t. I will say x equal to x1. So whatever the value, it is just simply assignment statement. You will say uh, set x, and you will say int x1, and you will assign, no, same assignment I am doing. So basically here my method is taking t as this argument, this type parameter, no, t is type parameter. So yeah, your method also can be
It's,
generic. Yeah,
ma'am, it's same as mutator method, right?
yeah, it is same as your mutator method. Yes. Yeah, whatever I have written is same as the mutator method, but you can have normal methods also. So yeah, okay, your class need not be generic. I'm giving another example. Okay, your class is not generic. Just take your class, it has index and int y only. Your class is not generic, but you want generic method inside your class. A generic method, I want some generic method inside my class. I will write it as show only. Okay, show method is generic method. Yeah, I'm giving some random example. Actually, there is no use for this example. Yeah, but the thing is like, intention is like you can have generic. Okay, okay, I will use some what good example only. Why do we need generic methods also? I will say,
Now, if a class is generic, then automatically all methods become generic, right?
if the class is generic, see, okay, I will come to that also. Whatever I why this, yeah, previously I told, no, if my class is using t here, t extends number or something, so wherever t is there, that will be replaced by its upper bound, right? So similarly, if your method has some t inside it, if your method is using t inside it, and your class is also, you are telling your class is of type t, has type parameter t, so wherever this t is there, number that will be, that can be used in your methods. Your methods can be generic, like you can have methods. See here, show method is taking x and y. Yeah, yeah, you can have non-generic methods also in your class. System dot out dot println, you can just print some value, it shows something, it displays something. That means you can have non-generic methods also inside a generic class, and you can have generic methods also. That means your method can take generic parameter also. Yeah, t
Even
can
like,
you, yeah, t can be used by your method also. If you say your classes has t type parameter,
can we have non-generic variables in a generic class?
yes, john non-generic variables,
Yes.
yeah,
Like
you
in
can have, yeah, you can have. Yeah, it's taking time, I don't know why.
Please refresh the page. I hope it will work.
Yeah. Why it's taking time? Actually, it won't take time, but why now?
Is there any network problem?
No, network is, yeah, if there is some network problem, I won't be able to share my screen also. Okay. Yeah, okay. So example of generic methods, no, like, okay, I have class. Okay, yeah, there is no need of class. Public static, I'm defining one simple method to print, show, to print elements of your array. Show array. Basically it should show every, like, even if we give integer, the method should work. Even if you give double, or even if you give student, this method should work to show any array data type. How can I tell? I can use generic array arr, I can say. And yeah, I should tell, before writing t, before the return type I should say, no, void. Before your return type, I should mention like, this method is generic and it uses type parameter t. I should tell this.
Angular bracket is used only for the generic to make it
Yes,
generic.
angular bracket is used to denote type parameter. So t
Ma'am,
is the,
can we make return type as generic?
yes, you can make return type as t also. You can just type t. Yeah, it will. So basic, okay, I will say return type is t. So now the thing is, like, it should return something, no, for t. You have this enhanced for loop, no, that means I can say for int x in some integer array, I can iterate, and I can what, okay, I should create some array. I'm returning that array because you asked the return type, no, can it, the return type be some array arr1, I will say. And I will say arr1 of, yeah, that means I should use only normal for loop. Here dot length, I'm just iterating over that array. Okay, don't think I'm doing something any other thing. I'm iterating over that array, and I have created new array arr1 of same type, and just I am assigning that whatever values that arr is holding, I'm just making the same value, like copying that values from one array to other array, and I'm returning that new array, that copied array I'm returning. Okay, I should create memory for that. R1 equal to new e dot length. But the thing is like, yeah, but the thing is like, you cannot have generic arrays. That's why you cannot create that. Yeah, I will return only last element of my array. Arr of arr dot length. Yeah, I will show that. Yep. Okay. I'm returning the last element of your array. I have written this because you asked, like, someone has asked, no, can we have return type as some generic? So here return type is t, and t is like nothing but your t. What is your t? Your element of your array is like t, no, because yeah, Yeah, if you have integer array, the fifth element of your array will be some integer, no, that's what I'm telling. Return ARR of AR of length, that is the last element of your array will be that value, no, it will
But
be
you have
int.
not defined T, no, ma'am. Here T is nothing. T is just generic.
G is generic. Yeah, when we will define while creating your while calling your method, you can define T. This is not show array, return last element, no, to last element. Actually, this is not solving the purpose of why do we need generic method. So I will show why do we need generic method. I'm just printing the values of my array. That's all. There should be some shortcut, AR, yeah. Okay, okay. Let's consider this method. Return type is void. We are not returning anything. Okay, let us consider this method here. Show array method 6 to, yeah, this method. Here this method, no. Here we want to display any array, like either integer array, student array, or any array, whatever the elements that are there in your array, we want to display. How can you say? How can you do that? So if we say, okay, before generics, if we have like, if we wanted to show array, some array, then we should say the type also, no. I will say here int array or double array, that can show only integer array or double array. But if you wanted your this method to show every array, like either integer, double, or float, that you can do by using this generics. So I will create now some array. Okay, same thing, I will say string array. It should show my elements of my array, no. So I will call the method show array. As it is static method, I can call without using object. Show array, I can say show array. I should pass some array, no. I am giving integer array first, and then I will pass string array. It should work for all the elements, right? All array types.
Show array just displays the
Yes, it
what you
should
are
display the
just
elements of your array. That is happening. The thing is like, here my class, main class is not generic. It's not generic class, but still this method is generic method. So I'm passing integer, I'm passing string, I can pass any other data type also instead of here T. I can pass anything. T is object, no? T is object. So yeah, instead of, I can pass anything here. The main point is like, I can have a generic method even if my class is not generic. I can pass different type arguments here. Here previously I can create different type of instance variables. No, here I can pass different arguments like integer, string, or double, or float. Different type arguments I can pass. Still, this method works fine. Previously, if we have defined a method with some type argument, then we should pass only that type argument in order to call that method, no, in order to invoke that method. But here we can give any type parameter here, and we can invoke the method. Similarly, we can say here, we can restrict the type also. We can say t extends number, that means it can take only number. If I try to give string, then it will give error. See here, you can see it is showing compiler error. That means I have restricted its type to return only number. If I try to give string, that will give error, same as the class. You can restrict your type parameters also in your methods also. Here the previously someone has asked out, no, can our method return generic? Yeah, it is like I'm making the return type of method as generic, no, t I am saying. So if I say show element, sorry, of this, if I say show element, show last element, no, I show last element of some array I'm giving, integer array, then it should show the last element, no, that it should print, it should, okay, it is returning, it won't print. So if we wanted it print, we should print that. Okay, please respond. Or everyone, are you following or not?
Hello.
Length minus one, yeah.
Yeah. So in case of classes, while defining generic classes,
Yeah, yes.
we specifically mentioned the type, right? Right. Double int in the angular brackets.
Mm.
So in case of methods, it is directly read, implicitly read, right, from the type of argument that is passed.
Yeah, I have told that type erasure thing, no. So if t is there, that will be object during compile time itself. If it is like t extends number, that will be number. So yeah, this also does compile time checking, if whether while calling the method, by whether we are passing the correct type parameter or not, this also does the type checking. So if I say t extends number, and if I try to pass string, I got previously error, no, that is there, right? So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that because of type erasure, we know what is the type of t earlier. Yeah, before running that program itself, we will come to know what should be the type. Yeah. So the thing is, like, in your method, you can have generic method. In your class, you can have generic methods even if your class is not generic. And also in your generic class also, you can have generic method. Yeah, what I have shown here, set x here. Here this is taking some generic type argument. The class is also generic, like generic class we have, and this method is also generic. That is possible, right? You can have generic method inside generic class, and even if the class is not generic, still you can have this generic method. That is examples. These are examples. Okay. And this t here, we know if we are using t, we here we it's not required to mention t again, because t is already here. We are telling, no, we are using t in this class and t extends number. Yeah, in your method it is not required to mention here t again, but, you can use that t inside your method also, like as it, without telling, mentioning here. Previously we have mentioned, no, here before the return type we have mentioned, like my method is using some generic type parameter t. But here, previous here, it in the inside the class itself, while defining the class itself, we told like this class takes type parameter t. So while using t, we no need to declare inside your method, like this class use this method takes t. That works
If you
fine. Okay.
declare the t in this method, it will hide the outer class method, right?
Yes.
It
Yes.
will be
Yeah. It
only
will
applicable.
hide
Yeah.
the. Yeah. That's why. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And now coming to wildcards. Right? Wildcards thing we should
Can
see.
you also explain? So if it hides the T, right? So how does it affect?
So actually, if I use the same variability here, that will be hidden, no, that won't work actually. So you are getting type here, see some compiler also, type mismatch. What
Ma'am, it will
cannot
create a new
convert?
T, no? Uh,
Yeah, it is different T. It is new T.
Ma'am, is there any thing related to the scope of the generic? Is it available within that method or function? Is that anything?
Yeah, nothing related to scope. But if you say s here s, like it will work because s and t are different. You are telling inside this generic class t, I'm using different type parameter s here. Yeah, you can say that also. You can make that also. Yeah, there, this s is, the scope of this s is only limited to this method. You can use only here. So I can say t extend s extend string. That means string wherever I use, wherever, yeah, here I can limit the type. That means this s is limited to this only, only this method. But t is like wherever inside your class you can use t wherever you want, inside method, instance variable, wherever you can use. But if you have declared your method specifically is using some type parameter, then that is limited to that method itself. Okay.
Ma'am, can we use that generic thing after the method function name, ma'am? Ma'am, is it necessary to write it before the return
Yes,
type?
it's necessary to write before the return type. It's syntax.
Okay, okay.
Okay, okay. Now, wildcard concept only, no? Actually, reflection is also there. Reflection is very simple. Have you watched that lecture? Like get class, get methods, get constructors. That thing. It's simple only. But generics are, I think, this is difficult than that concept. Yeah, everyone, are you following? Or yeah, if you have any doubt, please ask till here. Yeah, now wildcard concept we have, no? That I forgot, like whether that complex number question you have, that is like whether the graded PPA graded one, or whether it's PPA. I will see and I will explain whether it's graded. I cannot explain that question. Okay, this is graded one. Okay, there are no practice here. Okay, yeah. Okay, I will use some other example then.
Yes, ma'am, you can give with related to that.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can give the example related to the particular question, the graded assignments.
Yeah, I just
Ma'am,
yeah.
when we import this Java utility, what type of dictionary is imported in this main
So
folder?
you can use all like some array list, scanner class, all the classes which are there in that package you can use. You can check what all classes are there
Where,
inside that.
where we can check where what has been downloaded
In
in
the
this.
Java documentation also you can check what all
Here it is
classes.
not visible. Ki what has been downloaded. Import.
So in Java documentation is
Can
there.
we check this package where in this file or folder?
here we
Java
cannot.
dot.
Yeah, here I cannot check here, but yeah, yeah, you need to search in documentation or on net. You can see and good to know. And also previously Anand sir has told no Java P Java import Java. By seeing that also you can do. Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Yeah, wildcard example I should give no. Okay, I will give example of some ordered pair or something. Some example I should get. So wildcard, yeah, I'm creating one class like let us take okay point not point class. I will say some okay pair as pair and okay class pair actually takes two coordinates. Let's take two values like x and like okay first and second. Let's take okay pair will take key value. Let us assume that key value. Why I'm giving here? Okay. Class pair is generic and it has, let us take the pair has key and value, and I'm declaring constructor. Wait a sec. It should initialize both the key and value, no? So I will take the two values and then I'm saying key equal to, I'm assigning the values to both key and value. Okay.
Ma'am, what is the difference between in the constructor basically if we use the this dot key or only the key? Ma'am, what's the difference between that?
Okay, I will say when we will use this dot key and when we, okay here you can see like here key k and we have as this arguments, so I'm simply assigning whatever the value k has to key has to this key, this instance variable key, and whatever v value we gave, that I'm assigning it to value, our instance variable value. So if we have this argument also has same name key and value, at the time if I say key equal to key and value equal to value, so here this is like here key represents this key only, this whatever if we say key inside your constructor and if your arguments are also key and value, the key means this argument only key, this won't be visible, this external this outside key won't be visible. So how can I make like I want to assign the outside variable like instance variable to this whatever key value, I can say this dot key equal to key. So basically key represent here this argument only, this is local to this constructor only key, if I say key that is local to this constructor only. So key will be this whatever value we have and this dot key will be this instance variable key. So basically the significance we will know like this, when to use this means if your both instance variable and your type arguments are of same name, at that time In order to specify this, whatever the key here, in order to specify this as instance variable key, I should use this dot key. And this here key, this without this dot, this key normally represent this one, this key. This dot key will represent this key. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. Now I'm defining one method that performs addition of your pair, and it returns nothing. Okay, it won't return anything, it just prints that value. Add pair, that it adds two pairs. So it should add two pairs, no? We should give some pair as input, right? Okay, pair is generic. We have mentioned this class as generic, so you should mention here this class to be generic also. I will say what we will. Yeah. If I wanted to add, as I'm performing addition operation, I will say it is number. Extends number I will use because I'm performing addition, no? That's why we can add any number, so I am doing number. I will print p dot key plus, that means whatever this new pair which we are passing as argument, that key dot double value, because I told you previously we have to use double value in order to perform addition, and I can say key dot double value, or I can say this dot key dot double value also I can say here. Basically I'm adding keys of two pairs. That okay, I will write here. If I have two pairs, like this is one pair, let us say this is one first pair p1, and this is another pair 14 15. Now in the method add, we are adding keys, that means the first element. Let us take the first element, so it will be output will be 20 what 26. So just I'm doing that, it will print, this method will print, it will add both the keys, that means this first 12 and 14, and then it just print that value that is doing inside that method. I will say while question mark is required. Okay. Oh, class.
Audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah. Double value is also a method.
A double value, because I'm saying it's there, parenthesis is there, no? That means I'm calling method, right? So key is like integer. For number, actually this double value method is defined. Okay, I have
Sorry,
two
could you
class.
just repeat? What did you say?
I told double value is method because I'm using parenthesis here, no, to invoke that. So by this I get to know like its method. I'm defining an object for my pair. I'm telling it as integer pair.
I
Actually,
did not understand the 15th line where you written pair T, pair T.
yeah, I will, because okay, I will tell you will understand while calling the method. Okay, I should give two values, no, here integer values. 12 14 I will give. Okay, same. Similarly, I'm creating.
And ma'am, like in 21 line, can we write integer, comma integer? Like, because we're giving two values.
because yeah, you just see our classes has only one type parameter. No, we are telling it as t. So while uh, creating your object also, you should give single type parameter, because our class is taking single type parameter t. If it has t comma s, some two type parameters, at that time you can give two values, like two type, two thing, integer comma integer, like that you can say. Okay. Okay. Even dot add pair of p2. Why p1 cannot be resolved to a type? It can be resolved now. Okay, just will run and we'll check. Okay, we okay. Yeah, the thing is, like, here you have not understood, no, why we are giving. So actually, I'm giving p2 here. I'm calling this method add pair using p1. So p1 is an object of pair, so I can invoke add pair method using object of pair, no. So p1 is object of pair, I'm invoking the method add pair, and what it should take, it is taking pair. So I should give another object of pair, like I should give pair as object, no. So I'm giving p2. As it is an object of pair, I'm giving p2. So here basically I'm telling, so here if I say int x instead of pair, if I say int x, then I should pass some integer value, no, while calling the method. Similarly, I'm saying here pair, that means
We,
I
ma'am, we are passing the entire object, right? We are
yes,
passing the
we are
object.
passing the object of
Yes.
pair, because I told so previously also, you can say int p. That means while calling this method, I should pass some integer value, right? Here, yeah, if I say student, yes, student p, while calling this method, I should give student. If I say here, I am saying it is pair, and there is no, like in your here, you can see there is no class pair. You have generic class pair, so you should denote that. You should indicate. That's why I'm giving type variable also. Okay, that's why you want your method to take pair as argument, and that pair, you know that the class pair is like generic. So yeah, that's why you should denote that here also, giving while giving the parameter. So the thing is, like, you have got output as 32, it's okay. But now if we have something like double, the mod intention is, like, in add pair method I should add two pairs. My intention is, in add pair method I should add two pairs. Okay, previously I have given both p1 and p2, both are of type integers. Now if I give p1 is integer and p2 is double, but we should like both are of type number, that should be added, no. But here see, you cannot add here, because I told here, while creating an object p1, t is like integer, we have told t is of type integer. So wherever t is there, that will be integer only. So you can use this t also will be integer inside this class, inside p1. So I'm invoking the add pair method using p1, so p1 takes integer, no. So this t is integer, t will be integer only. But here p2 pair is like double, it is like double, so you cannot give double. How can I make this work? I can
And
just
we have to
simply,
typecast.
okay, how will you type? So that is type parameter, no? T is type parameter. How you will typecast here? You cannot typecast it pair. You cannot typecast, no, to some other thing, number or something. That is that doesn't make sense, no. You have to
Okay,
typecast a
ma'am.
type parameter. Yeah, that won't make sense. Type parameter typecasting doesn't make sense. So instead of that, you can say, you can use question mark. If I say question mark, then we'll see whether it works or not. Yeah, now you got output, no? The question mark here means pair of any type. It can be like we told, like previously while defining itself we told like pair is like number. It can be anything of type number. Here we can tell it can be anything of type number. So here also we can be more specific by saying t extends number. This question mark extends number, that also we can mention here. Okay, instead of writing here we should write here.
So ma'am, T and question mark mean the same thing.
Here if I use t, everywhere t will be that whatever integer, but question mark means it can be anything. It can be number, it can be anything of type number.
Ma'am, it will allocate its type at the runtime or compile time, ma'am.
Which one?
Compile time, right? Ma'am, the question mark pair, question mark p. Ma'am, are you getting my point?
Yeah, question mark, yes, I got your point. But whether it will be compile time or runtime, yeah, because at compile time we won't know, right? At compile time it is double, but the pair can take float also, it should take float also. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I should check on this whether for question mark it will happen at compile time or runtime. I should check. Okay. Okay, question mark tx. There is some mistake. I don't know why syntax, but you can say question mark here. Actually, pair is already extending number. So yeah. Okay. If I remove this instead of extends number, if I remove this, okay, then double value won't make sense. X dot double key dot double value you are using, no, that means t is some number, something we should tell. So we should tell like t extends number, that should be given. If not double value we cannot use. So yeah, here you can give float also or anything, and you can add two pairs. But if I say here t, then t will be restricted. That means t will be of same type of as your p. But I can use different type here s. I can use different type here s, and I can say this method, because this in this class we have not defined, right? We are using s, so that's why I should tell s I am using here and x extends number. So this also you can do by using question mark also. You can just declare that also, both will work. Okay. So if I remove this extends number, just checking, because pair will take, already we have defined pair as some number. Will it work or not? We'll check. Yeah, that is like s. So type argument s is not within the bounds of type argument t, because we are telling t is number. Here also we are using pair. Here we are denoting by different type argument s, but here we are not mention what is s. That should be also of type number, no? Yeah,
Extends number.
extends number. So yeah, that should, if we mention that, you won't get any compiler error. So instead of writing all these things, you can just mention there can be of any type. So you can just mention wildcard question mark. So this also will work. Okay. Okay, here if I use t, it will be I cannot do. If I use t, I cannot say. Now you will get compiler error. So now you get incompatible types. Double cannot be converted to pair integer, because this is p2 is double, and here t is like integer. Here t is integer, but we are giving double, so it cannot take. It will give incompatible types. This error. So so here I should use question mark at this point. Yeah, is it clear now? Like why the purpose of question mark?
Yes, ma'am.
Y- yeah, that's all regarding generics. And you have reflection concept. Reflection concept, yeah, that is like very easy topic. There are just methods only. Get get constructors, get declared, what method, get declared constructors, that things you have. But that is very easy lecture to follow. Yeah, we will like, if you can watch the lecture, and if you have any doubt you can ask in the next session also, that regarding reflection. You just try to see activity questions. Yeah, in the previous, what in the like whatever the previous term sessions, no, that activity questions are also explained. But still, yeah, you just go through that lecture and watch that lecture and solve the activity question, then I think it will be clear. Yeah, if something is doubt is any doubt is there, then you can ask in the coming session on Saturday session regarding reflection. I think we have covered almost all topics in generics, whatever are covered in the lecture, like why generics, and yeah, question mark and different type parameters and methods also. Yeah, yeah, if you have any doubt you can ask.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you and good night, everybody.
Yeah,
Should we leave now?
yeah, you can live, yeah, you can live.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, good night, thanks.
Good night, everybody, and happy Dashara to all.
Yeah, same to you.